Okay. Now we good. All right, give me 1 second. I may have accidentally started up something different. Okay, no, I didn't. Hopefully, I did this right. Okay, I did. All right. Can anybody hear me? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, cool. All right, are we too loud or no? Wait, how many people voted? Oh, only 8 people voted. I could do better. Yeah, that was that's typical. My ambition level was meh, and that's a problem. Yeah, my ambition level was probably around meh. I just I don't know. I want to be ambitious, but I don't know. I don't. Sometimes I see the point. Sometimes I don't. It just depends on how I'm feeling. Anyway, yo. So before I get into it, I know y'all saw Fantastic earlier. Yo, I was part of Team Doubt. I'm not gonna lie. I was part of Team Doubt. I know y'all heard me on my last stream. I was like hoping that nigga didn't get punched out. Yeah, I was like, yeah. So when he agreed to that shit, I was like, please let this nigga just start getting in shape. Please let him stick to the diet. Please let this nigga stick to the conditions. Yeah, I was part of Team Doubt a nigga, man, because when old boy said, he was forming Golden Gloves and shit, them boxing niggas, they do that shit for life, and they be in like buck mode for the rest of, like, they stay on fight mode for the rest of their fucking life because that's all they know. So it's like, but kudos to Fantastic, man, because he didn't just win, he flattened that nigga. Put that nigga on his back like a puppy. Yo, he set that nigga clock to 9:15 horizontal as a motherfucker. Yo, that was well played. Oh, fantastic. Y'all missed that shit. Never mind. Y'all see the replay, man. Oh boy he might throw that shit out for everybody to see at some point, or maybe you buy a membership and watch it. But that was good shit. That was good shit. They put that shit together, man. I was gonna go to the young nigga Discord and watch the memes, but I was busy. I went to go hoop and shit. But yeah, that was good, man. That was some good shit. All 4 of them fights was actually really good. I appreciated that shit, man. They actually putting that shit together. That ring was little as shit though. Them niggas could not run from each other. Them motherfuckers was cramped. niggas was really we like back in the day when you get into a fight and instead of a ring, it's just niggas around you and they keep getting closer and closer until you can't really go nowhere and both of you niggas just really like throwing hands. Between a bunch of niggas, again, they don't give you no room because they trying to get as close as they can without getting hit, but they close enough to get hit. That shit was funny. It was like the ring was doing that. The ring was just niggas around you, not giving you no space to run or space to move around and shit and operate. That shit was funny. I hope next time they get a bigger ring, man. But that was excellent. That shit was funny. Fantastic didn't just knock it. He didn't just beat the nigga. He flattened him. Like that was awesome. But I'm gonna go ahead and let him talk that shit because as soon as he stream up, bro finna be talking all of the shit, all of it. Like he ain't gonna leave shit for nobody. Yeah, Sheen Shang, you missed out, dog. That shit was funny, yo. That shit was funny. Hold on, somebody got deleted. Damn, why they on? Who is Troy Myers? Y'all on this top? What did he do? He just said LOL. Damn, niggas mean as shit. See, this is why I mod everybody. Otherwise, this shit be happening. Yeah, he fought another content creator. Some nigga who was a Golden Glove, but he bonked him on his head. You know, you're fantastic when in caveman mode. Me fantastic, me punch you. He knocked him out. And again, it wasn't just a win. It was a knockout. Like he literally, you know, put the nigga on his fucking back. So that was awesome. That was some good shit. Anyway. Hey, listen, college football. The nigga said he's got Golden Glove. Don't brag. Don't brag about how. Do not brag about how much of a motherfucking, you know, puncher you are, and how you gonna whoop a nigga that's 6'5". Like, so what? Don't brag about it. You know, because I actually thought the nigga was gonna get fantastic hands. And naturally, I'm gonna think that if this nigga got professional boxing training, even if he old, he's still gonna have like his skills. But you know, when that nigga got in the ring and I saw that belly, I was like, oh shit, this nigga is not built for the fight. And yeah, he got his shit punched in. But anyway. But yeah, anyway, so I was talking about ambition and shit, right? So let's see where the poll at. So we got 28 votes. We got like I could do better. It's like I kind of figured everybody was gonna kind of be where that's at. I mean, be honest, everybody that put I could do better. That's typical. I was at meh, and still kind of is at I could do better. I'm at I could do better. I'm not really go for it, get to the bag ass nigga. Or else I would have monetized my channel a long time ago, got on some fake shit, started lying to everybody, started selling shit. I probably would have been selling fucking some type of pills. I probably was selling some type of goddamn power elixir for niggas. You know, just lying. I'd have cammed up by now, fucking started the fitness channel, sit around a fucking table with a bunch of bitches and lie about the relationship dynamic problem. So if I was more ambitious, I would probably, you know, I'd probably be on that shit. I'd be just like all these other indoor sunglass wearing ass niggas talking to bitches. You know? But I don't have that type of ambition. You know? It's like, it's a strong desire to achieve something. Like, but the one thing that fuels ambition is, jealousy and envy. You need a little bit of that. You need ego, narcissism, jealousy, envy, because one of the things about ambition that is the fuel for ambition is the fact that you want to compete with other people who you think are or believe are doing better than you. How the fuck else would that work if you don't want what they want or you're not jealous of what they want? Now, some people say, well, I'm not jealous. I just feel like you can frame it however you want to. But it is jealousy. You want to be in a position that somebody else is in, you know, because they're doing better than you in some form or fashion. It could be financially. It could be because they got a better looking bitch or they live in a better neighborhood or whatever the case may be. You want that. You know, and again, it's often involving those goals, like, you know, success goals, power goals, fame. Like a lot of people want to be famous. Look at YouTube. You don't need to look no further than that. You know, and then, but ambition has pros and cons. You know, it'll push you to work hard. You know, but some people don't believe in hard work. And I understand that work smarter, not harder. But it'll push you to work hard and push you to kind of go for your dreams or go for your goals. Like it'll turn your hope into something tangible, because hope without action is like intangible. It's like a disease. It's a mental illness for the most part. If you just have hope but you don't have any action behind it or any plan behind it, it's pointless. So that's the one thing about ambition. Ambition can actually turn your hope into tangible realism. And it can be, very positive and motivating for other people, because you can motivate other people. You can give other people ambition through your ambition. And again, but it's the same thing I'm saying. So let's just say you get in shape, and then your friends around you like, well, damn, this nigga was fat last year. Then you go, oh, well, fuck that. This nigga ain't finna leave me behind. Then you do it. Then another nigga's like, hold on, fuck these niggas on. And then they do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a trickle-down effect. Now, I don't know if it's a bad example or not, because you don't see that en masse, right? You don't see a bunch of niggas getting in shape in record time, hitting the gym and shit. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's just an example. You do something, and then other people want to follow suit, so it can have a positive effect on people. But then you get to the thing where you have excessive ambition. The negative shit where you do, you do anything in the name of getting to your success. That's when people start making excuses for the shit that they do. That's when you have snake ass niggas that'll fuck you over for any reason, and then their reasons will be shit like, well, I'm just trying to feed my family, or I'm just doing this, or I'm just looking out for number one, or blah blah blah, whatever the case may be. And they're right for the most part. That's the problem, right? They're right and they're wrong. Because they don't necessarily have to fuck you over to get to where they're going, but it's easier. A lot of times it is very easy to fuck somebody over to get what you want. Like a very elementary or rudimentary example of this is like taking some shit that somebody else bought, or stealing, robbing, that type of shit. So you wait for somebody else to get something, and the easiest way for you to come up is to just take it from them, because you know them, you got access to them. It's the easiest way to fuck somebody over. And then you could go, I'm just trying to feed my family. You had it, I needed it, nigga. Or something like swindling and shit. You running check scams or digital check scams, or bank fraud, putting credit cards in relatives' names that don't even know you're doing it, or buying property in their names and they don't know you're doing it, or, flipping houses in people's names, they don't know you're doing it. You just getting over until you can get to where you want to be, so your name and credit ain't all fucked up. Then you live your life. But as soon as you make the money, and once you get rich, once you reach your ambition, people tend to back off you because you have it. And then people they'll make excuses for you after that, until you fuck up and fall down. That's when people start getting back on your head again, when you fuck up and fall down. So you can be an ambitious nigga and you make it, you get whatever it is you're trying to get to, and people know you was a snake ass nigga to get there. And once you're there, they can't say anything, because everybody else gonna be like, we got money though. And as soon as something happened to your ass, everybody be like, see, I knew he was a bitch ass nigga the whole time. Even the people that was defending him. Oh, I knew he was a bitch ass nigga the whole time. He was a bitch ass nigga with blah, blah, blah. Was he a bitch ass nigga when you was kicking it with him? Yeah, he was a bitch ass nigga. Why'd you kicking it with him? No, don't even have an answer for that. But everybody knew how much of a bitch ass nigga he was when he was realizing his ambitions. But that's the dark side of ambition, because that same hope that makes people want to achieve the same thing that you achieved, it's that same thing where when you make it, they try to protect they try to protect the way you made it, because in the back of their mind, they like, I might have to do that. I might have to be a bitch ass nigga like this to make it too. I might have to do that. Like, even if they don't do it, there is still a lingering thought and feeling that they might have to do it. So they can't really go against the people that make it, you know, even if their ambition led them to do some bitch ass nigga shit, you know. And and I understand that's a difficult thing for the human psyche to wrestle with, right? You want to you want to be you want to make it the right way so you can, because that's a flex too. Making it on your own merit is a flex because nobody can say that you did. Nobody can say that you're a shitty human being. Nobody can say that you did something wrong to somebody. But for the most part, people are willing to accept the fact that they did have to be a shit person to make it. Then they'll just wave it off later, you know. I started thinking about this shit when was having a conversation where the guys was talking about no, we was watching a stream and Corey Holcomb was talking about the difference between T.I. and Kim Kardashian and the way that they made it to their respective levels of success. And I started thinking about that and I'm like, what's the difference? Now, the way Corey Holcomb put it was the fact that, you know, T.I. was able to have a successful rap career and, you know, do music and make it and whatever. And Kim Kardashian just fucked the nigga on video. Both of them went their separate ways to the whatever success routes they took. And Kim Kardashian is worth billions of dollars and T.I. is worth, I don't know, maybe tens of millions. But still, they both are very successful. Now, we were kind of talking about like which one is better. I don't see. Okay, I do see the difference. I'm not stupid. I see the difference between their methods of success. And if I do the whole man shit, I'll go, okay, well, T.I. had to use his talent. He had legitimate talent and he was rapping and he made it, you know, based on his own, you know, skill and talent. Sure, nigga. But at the same time, we also know that there's millions of motherfuckers rapping that are hella skilled and they don't make it. Does that mean that they're not good or not as good? No, it just means that they didn't get their buzz. They didn't get their chance. They didn't get their shine. Whatever it was, missed them. They missed the bus. You know, talent-wise, they could be better, but they missed the bus. So, and then at the end of the day, what is that doing for the world? It's just monkey dancing. So he introduced trap music to the world. Let's examine the net effect of that. We not gonna examine the net effect of that. But I'm just saying, put that in your mind, right? He introduced trap music to the masses. Name the world-changing positive effect that's had on the fucking world. To do that, give me some tangibles from that. Also, give me some tangibles from the world-changing, life-altering shit that Kim Kardashian did by fucking a nigga on video. You know, it's the same shit. It's monkey dancing. It doesn't make a difference. They both did what they did to make it, and they both are where they are now. Again, I don't see a difference between what she's doing and what he's doing, simply because both of them are kind of doing the same shit. And I only say that because, like I said, there's nothing tangible that you can show me that either one of them have done. There's nothing tangible that is a positive net effect on the world. I think Kim Kardashian is trying to get niggas out of jail now. And I think she even, you know, went so far as to try and make it in law. Kudos, right? Kudos. But the road you took to get there, if we talking like, if there's some type of positive matter in the ambition, does it matter how you got there then? Does it matter how you get there? You know what I mean? Because if it doesn't matter how you get there, then it's like all bets are off. It's just like when you go to an Ivy League school and you're a young, ambitious student with these big dreams and ideas, and you want to get your ideas and shit off the ground, and then you going to school with a bunch of rich blue blood motherfuckers who done had money their whole life. You the smart nigga in the hood that had made it to that school. Now, you the nigga with all the ideas. You know what happens when you go to an Ivy League school as a nigga with all the ideas? You get your ideas stole because the motherfuckers with the money gonna take your fresh idea ass, in a room and talk about your idea. You excited to be around your peers and all that fucking brain power and all that inventiveness and creativeness, and as soon as you give them your idea, or y'all shooting the shit and talking shop, them niggas gonna go to their parents, get a loan, and drop out of school, and then have a story written about them in the New York Times about how they came up with this wonderful invention in the middle of the night. And why do I need to finish school when I can just start my business right now? Meanwhile, your ass sitting in class stewing for the next 3 years. You had all that ambition, and somebody just came through with the bread and just came up off your shit. Now, the crazy part about that is even if you didn't tell them your idea, you probably could never get it off the ground until you did something to make some money first. You got to get a lot of capital to get your fucking idea off the ground. And then if you do get a lot of capital, it better be enough to get your shit to the masses before the people who want to steal your shit get some venture capital money up first. Because that's what happens too. You young, creative, inventive motherfucker. Why do you think like a lot of ideas don't really come out as fast as you want them to? Or you always see like these competing technologies or whatever, and you always see in these stories in magazines where it's just like, this guy came up with it first, but the guy who came up with it first is that nigga somehow never makes it most of the time. Or they'll just credit the come up with it first with the nigga who was able to produce the most money via his venture capitalism efforts. You got a politic and all that other shit. A lot of things can get in the way of your ambition. And then when we talk about the morality of the ambition, which is what I touched on earlier, where it matters how you make it, but then that the way other people are puts a question mark over that morality. It almost makes it okay for you to do bitch ass nigga shit in order to make it, because you could be a stand up person. You could try to make it the right way, and then other people can just steal your shit. Or just copy your idea, or just be accepted because they're a different person. It's just like light skin, dark skin dynamics, right? Again, most of my, as usual, most of my analogies relate to basketball and shit, because this is what I used to play when I was growing up. And it's most of the stuff that I did was kind of on the court and shit, and at the park. But light skin, dark skin dynamics. So you're a dark skinned dude and you playing basketball. You can have a really good jumper. You could be your shit can be on flame ball torch mode at all times. But for whatever reason, light skinned and white dudes are always seen as shooters, no matter how trash they are. They could be the most trash nigga on the court. But if a light skinned nigga or a white dude is on the court, people would defer to them for shots. And then that causes, it had an effect that, me growing up, I would see, you would always see angry dark-skinned niggas on the court. And then dark-skinned niggas get this stigma about being, fight niggas or angry niggas or rough niggas or tumble, they always the physical niggas. And then you wonder how it gets that way. You wonder why is it that nobody ever thinks about why it's that way. It's not because they less skilled. There's always a reason, but it's not the reasons that people think. People just kind of assume, well, you're a dark-skinned niggas just angry and shit. No, it's not that. There's always this stigma associated with the shit because it's the way that they're being treated. A dark-skinned nigga is just not seen as a shooter for whatever reason. If you're a dark-skinned nigga and you play basketball, go to the rack. Lay up, nigga. For example, right? There's a basketball player named Kyrie Irving. When he first came to the league, his first, I think 3 or 4 years in the league, he had a jump shot like Steph Curry, but he had much more handles and he could drive. He was like a complete combo guard. If you want to say that, he was like a complete combo guard. not only could he shoot, not only did he have a tray ball, like a crazy ass flame ball, but he could also handle your ass to death, and he had all the moves. He even had post up. He only like 6'3", 6'4". He could post you. He could post up big niggas. He's a really good basketball player, but he's a dark skinned nigga. So his game is different. So, and even if he does the things that he was doing when he was in college and high school, like, you know, he can shoot, he can dunk and all that other shit, it'll always be, you'll listen to the people talking, you know, commentating on the game, and they would sound surprised. You know, it's like very surprised that he's able to do these things. Oh my God, I didn't know. Then later, it was like, okay, yeah, he knows how to do that shit. But it took a while for Kyrie to get that type of respect. In fact, he kind of didn't get the respect as a shooter until Game 7 of that Cleveland Cavaliers Warriors finals, where he hit the game winner over Steph Curry. Now, if you watch basketball, if you play basketball, you would have seen that Steph was running from Kyrie the whole game. He didn't want no parts of that shit. He did not want to guard this nigga. Every time Kyrie got the ball, they would make sure to get Klay in position to guard him every single time. If even if the pass was going to Kyrie, you would see Klay step up and Curry would step back or stay in the passing lane. Sorry. So Curry would always play the passing lane when Kyrie had the ball, and that was on purpose. So if you go back and watch some games, you'll see what I'm talking about. Because Steph didn't want no parts of that. Now, Tyronn Lue was the assistant coach at the time, and he saw that. He was like, yo, this nigga's not trying to guard Kyrie, and Kyrie on fire. Get him the ball. And that's when he flamed him up. Now, again, if you're watching the game, Kyrie's on fire all night. And not only is he a great jump shooter, he's a great jump shooter with significant contact or a significant defender on him. So is Steph, but it's mostly him just, you know, pulling up on, you know, surprising niggas with the shot. Kyrie is more, you know, he's gonna shoot it, but you can't stop it any fucking way, or he'll just drive past you. It don't matter. You can do both. But he had the dark skinned nigga effect. People didn't really talk about Kyrie's jump shot. They only talked about layup package. They didn't even talk about like it, you know, his dunking ability, because he's actually ambidextrous. He can dunk with both hands. They don't even talk about that. They just talk about layup package, because dark skinned niggas are expected to lay up and do fancy shit up under the rim, English and all that. And so then niggas develop these type of attitudes. They just kind of dig into the stigma and become these physical basketball hard driving layup niggas. Doesn't mean that they're like that. It's some dudes do like to shoot, and some light skinned niggas like to drive. And if you see them drive, you be like, well, what the fuck is this nigga doing? You supposed to be out there shooting. Stereotypes, and that shit can drive people's ambition. Like sometimes your ambition is dictated around how people think about you. Which again, it causes you to do certain things in your life. Maybe you don't even want to do those things, but the way people expect you to behave, you kind of end up having to conform because people won't accept you any other way. And that's when you have these different levels of ambition. You know, some people have different levels of ambition based on like birth. Like, for example, an ugly nigga is gonna have a different ambition level than a pretty boy. Like that's a natural occurrence. Or ugly bitch gonna have different ambition than a pretty one. You know, or a short nigga gonna have different ambition than a tall nigga, because they got different opportunities at different times in their life. So the ambition levels are different. Like what they strive for is different. Sometimes the shit comes easy for some people and some things don't. So you could be like, let's just say you talented at playing an instrument. Your ambition might be different than somebody who is not. The person who's not as talented might work harder, might try harder. might add a style or a gimmick to it to give himself an edge to push himself over the top. And then you start seeing niggas with purple mohawks and shirtless vests and shit. You know, you start seeing niggas wear these fucking comic clothes. That's when you start seeing character niggas walking around and niggas with guitars on their backs and bowler hats. You know, to look different. They need an aesthetic to go with their instrument playing because it gives them an edge. They might not be as talented as someone else who is naturally talented, but if they have an aesthetic with it, some type of gimmick with it, it might push them over the top. It might make someone else think that they're better than what they actually are. That can actually work in your favor. And see, that's what I'm talking about. You have these gimmicks, or you just have these different ambition levels. You know, so we look at like the criticism that people give each other, right? Like often criticism can determine your ambition. So like if somebody criticizes, I don't know, they criticize you for doing something well, like you always do that, and you go, and some people might try to change up what they do because somebody said, you know, you do that too much or some shit, which is weird. Like, how can you do something positive too much? You understand what I'm saying? It results in a positive outcome, but you do it too much. Like, let that shit sink in. It's weird, ain't it? But sometimes people can take criticism very personally and then internalize it. They can take the criticism and internalize it much harder than like positive feedback. So if somebody gives you kudos for, I don't know, doing something good, right? Well, let's just take a musician. You make a hit song. It's like, oh man, bro, that shit was rocking all summer. You was killing that shit. Nigga, you went number 2 on Billboard, my guy. You fucking, everybody was playing that shit, bumping your shit all year. And you go, thank you. And they'll live off of it, get some accolades for it, feel good about it. Now, let's just say the follow-up song ain't do so good, and then they fall the fuck off. And then everybody start going, oh man, that shit was trash. But you still got good shit in you. You just, you made a good song and then a mess song. And you might come out with another one, or the album might be good. But instead of focusing on that, niggas might let that shit go to their head. Start changing up a lot of their songs, and then the album come out trash because they listening to motherfuckers, criticize them and talk shit instead of just doing what they were gonna do in the first place. Or even worse, they want to keep doing what they were doing because they know the shit gonna hit if they just, stick to what they know. But then the record label, the people who own them, are like, oh, we don't like the criticism that's coming towards you, so let's change up this shit. And then they fuck you over. They fuck your ambition up. Your ambition is totally different than what they're trying to do. All because of negative criticism. That's other people affecting your level of ambition. Ain't even got shit to do with you. And again, this is why my level of ambition was pretty much always meh. Because if I make it, I make it. If I don't, I don't. I'm gonna be happy either way. I don't. And again, that was a big problem in my life too, because I didn't have my ambition level being so low put me in a weird place. I wasn't jealous of anybody having shit, but that's because I didn't desire it. I didn't really care, And then when I did start giving a fuck, it was kind of like, I only did this shit because I was just trying to fit in. Like buying hood ass cars and putting rims and music on it. That shit, I only did that shit just to fit in. I didn't even care about it. I only cared about it because other people did. I only cared about it because that's where I was. I gave no fuck. I just had to give a fuck. Or I felt like I had to give a fuck. That's what it was. It's not like I had choices. I can make my own choices. I just felt like I had to give a fuck. So I would just do all the nigga shit. Participate in all the nigga shit. Even though I didn't care. I had no ambition for that shit. Even when I had the car, I just didn't give a fuck. I didn't feel special. I didn't feel you know, after the initial rush of people going, oh damn nigga, oh my god, like after that initial rush of that niggas like riding your dick or whatever, pause. I didn't feel attached to the shit that I had like other niggas. Other niggas would baby their cars, yo. They be fucking wiping it down every day, washing their shit. A week later, my car be dirty as a motherfucker. I would barely wash it. I just didn't give a fuck. Niggas would have to tell me to go wash. Bro, you should wash that motherfucker, dog. I wouldn't be shit. My shit wouldn't be dirty if I had that motherfucker. If I had that motherfucker, nigga, shit, my shit would be clean every day, nigga, every day. But I was a lazy nigga. Like I didn't have the ambition to go keep my shit in pristine condition or wear an outfit that matched my car and the fucking interior at the same time. I just didn't have it. I wasn't attached to that shit. Again, I only did it because I felt like I had to fit in. You know? But anyway, criticism can change your level of ambition. It really can. Like, you know, because when you think about it, most people, if you do something negative, everybody will remember it for the rest of their fucking life. It just gets burned into their brain. You fall down a flight of steps. You fall down a flight of steps and break your fucking wrist. Everybody, nigga, you can be 45 years old and you meet somebody, they're gonna bring that shit up. Hey man, remember you fell down the steps and broke your wrist? That shit was crazy. Let your ass do something good. Niggas will forget it and never bring it up. You know that you have to, the crazy part about doing good shit or positive shit, you have to remind niggas what you did. That's why, and this is why different entertainments, this is why sports people have statues. This is why this is why the people that do things in the world and change the world, this is why they have monuments built to them. Because if they didn't, people would just say, fuck you. Nobody wants to see anybody doing better than them. That's the dark side of ambition. The same thing that makes ambition great, the same thing that makes people great when they have ambition is the same thing that makes other people want to fucking forget they even exist when they do something great. It's just like we was talking about Jesus. Nobody wants to see Jesus actually come back. They kill that nigga all over again. Nobody wants to see that. What's the one thing you hear when people are talking about the conversation at large? Most people, when they talk from their perspective, and then they say shit like, you'll do it too, nigga, because you're just like me. And then at the same time, they'll say, our people are not a monolith. Cake and eating it too. So it's the weirdest thing in the world, the way people are. Like, again, the ambition is more like, I'll do these things, but I'm different than you are. But I know you'll do the same thing because you're just like me. Just think about that. If you want a more specific reason, okay, nigga, I know you like this bitch because I like her. You'll fuck because I'll fuck. Oh, but you're not like me. You don't fuck them type of hoes. You see what I'm saying? It's like if a nigga who actually showed up that was actually, for example, all these religious niggas. If a nigga showed up who was actually about that religion to the point where he didn't do all of the fuck shit and he was actually good, a Jesus-like nigga, a real be like Jesus nigga, he would be, bro. That motherfucker, the machine would go after him and turn him into a pariah. We would all be convinced that motherfucker's a criminal. We'd be convinced that he's a criminal pedophile because there's no way that you not fucking with these dirty ass bitches. You must be a gay pedo. You gotta be. Ain't no way in hell because you gotta be doing the same shit I'm doing. It's the only way I can feel good about myself. You know what I'm saying? This is how people are. They need to they need for their ambition to be projected onto you. Yeah, news. Yeah, the projection. It have to, or else they don't even feel good about themselves. The crazy part is, it's almost like a form of currency where people need you to believe that their ambition is good to validate it in order to do the fuck shit that they need to do in order to fulfill the ambition. It's very odd the way people act, man. And again, out of the many reasons, the ones that stick out the most for people is that, like, the way I see it is that positive things take a lot of work for the most part. My son builds Legos. When he was like 4, he would build these tall structures of Lego. And once he was done with them, he would look at it for a little while and be happy that he built it and be like, Dad, look. And I'll look. And then he'll go, okay, I built it. And then he'll just karate chop that shit down. It would take him, I don't know, 30 minutes, 40 minutes to just build these structures. And he would put a lot of effort into it, color code them, make them symmetrical, put windows in them, make sure that they had floors and tiers. He would even put little figurines in there to even top it off. Like, he put a lot of work into the fucking structure. And I would encourage him and go, wow, that's awesome. You built that by yourself? Yeah. I'm like, dude, that's crazy. I'm like, we should put that in your room and leave it up. And he go, yeah. And 5 minutes later, he was chopping that shit down. The thing that took him almost an hour to make took him 5 seconds to destroy. You know what I mean? But it's like, the positive thing that he did took him an hour. The negative thing that he did took him 5 seconds. And this is people. This is people. Because positive things are typically difficult. They take effort and they take motivation and self-esteem and all the rest of that shit. All the other words that make up what amounts to meritorious ambition. Like I said earlier, losing weight, achieving in a sport or a career accomplishment, learning an instrument, developing a skill. Hell, even honing a natural talent. Even if you have a natural talent, you can hone it. That takes effort too. Just honing your natural talent. And all of those things take effort. But if you're a lazy nigga with no ambition, you probably won't hone it. You'll still be, passable at whatever natural talent you have. But somebody who's outworking you can likely beat you easily because you're not even trying. But again, then it brings me to the way people think about things, right? The positive and negative things that people think. So you are only as valuable as the last valuable thing you ever did. Or in internet terms, you only look as good as your worst photo. Now, this doesn't mean that you look like your worst photo, because people can catch you at all types of. People use like really fast cameras, or they'll play video, and they'll just frame by frame the video until your face just looks, because while you're talking, you have different expressions while your mouth is moving, your eyes are moving, your face is moving. So they'll just frame by frame the video until they catch the one that they need. And they go, yeah, I'm finna make this nigga look horrible. That's the internet. You only look as good as your worst picture. So keeping that in mind, this is how people treat each other, right? This is what affects everybody's ambition. So I'll use myself as an example. I did this before when we were talking, so I used to go over to the Brain Trust a long time ago. Some of y'all might be new. Y'all might not know what the Brain Trust is. Black Brain Trust is a channel that was run by Mike V and Complex Design shit. And everybody used to be over there. It was a pretty poppin' tech channel. We used to just shoot the shit, talk shop and whatnot. And we was talking cars one day. And a long time ago, I had 2 cars. I had a very expensive SUV, and I had a a mid-range hatchback. Now again, I owned both of these cars. And we were just talking about like fuel efficiency and shit because I used the hatchback to travel. I didn't want to put miles in the SUV. That was the family car. I used to take my kids to school in and shit and keeping up with the Joneses and all that. But I didn't want to put miles in that motherfucker. I wanted it to stay in very good condition. And the only time I drove it long distance was to basically keep up with the Joneses. Like when my daughter was playing AAU volleyball. And if the state was close enough, if it was far enough, we just flew. But if it was close enough, we drive, right? And when we had to drive, then I would drive the expensive SUV. And the reason why is because it was some keeping up with the Joneses shit. All the other parents would do the same thing. They would drive their expensive SUVs. So that's what I did. And plus, it was big. It was big as shit. I could keep everything in it. I mean, you could pack more stuff in it. So anyway, so we was having this conversation about that shit, and wouldn't you know, right? So we was in a different conversation having a talk, and the subject of cars came up again. Now again, my shit had I had turbo in it and all the luxury features and shit. Now as soon as it came up, it was like, oh well, you know, Zero got the cheap car or whatever. Now the default was the less expensive car I had. Even though if somebody wanted to present an example of a luxury vehicle with some shit in it, they could have brought up the expensive one that I had to just kind of keep the conversation normal. But no, people default to try and shit on you. Now again, keep in mind I own both cars. But this is nigga behavior. And I see that all around the space. Like when people are talking about things, right? Somebody could say, oh, I did this positive thing, and somebody will just go be like, nah, fuck that, not you, nigga. But if somebody say something like, again, so if someone says, I fell down a flight of stairs and broke my wrist, everyone will believe that. It's easier to believe negative shit. And again, this is the type of shit that affects people's ambition because it seems like, or it feels like, people don't really have this positivity that they tell. They want everybody to be hopeful. Like we have all these men out here with these channels, these different channels talking about this level of brotherhood and how men should have their self-esteem and all that other shit. But at the same time, all men do to each other is try to take it away. And then we wonder why men go into shit mode. Because a man, because you'll have one of these niggas say, well, you a man. We competing with each other. Nigga, I ain't finna be your friend. You know, you get it how you live, all that, right? But then you wonder why niggas are so greasy to each other and hate each other and don't fuck with each other like that. Or why we can't come up with solutions or fix anything because we too busy going at each other's fucking neck over everything. While at the same time trying to tell motherfuckers that they should get into some type of brotherhood or togetherness type shit. But all we do is we fight each other. We fight each other, and while we punching a nigga in the face, we saying, yo, we should be cool. You literally hitting a nigga in the face and saying we should be cool. Or you pulling a gun on a nigga saying we should be friends. And then shoot him in the fucking face. This is men. And we wonder why people default to bitch nigga ambition. You know what I mean? Like, it's no wonder niggas default to bitch nigga ambition. And the worst part about all of this is that women understand it. That is the worst part about all of this. Women understand it. Women understand what we do to each other. So then their position is, these niggas gonna kill each other, and all we gotta do, we can either sit back and watch, or we can weaponize these niggas to do what we want them to do. So then they start focusing our ambition even more acutely on each other. to keep the focus off of them. Now, it doesn't mean that women are your enemies. I'm not with the gender war shit. There is no gender war. We lost that shit a long time ago. But it's more like, it's not a against bitch argument. It's more like they see us already shitting on each other and already killing each other. It's already like that. All they doing is coming in and exploiting the fall. It's like, well, these niggas gonna kill each other anyway. We might as well get something out of it. Like, why let a good tragedy go to waste? That's pretty much all it is. So, anyway, that's all I have for that, man. It just the level of shit that we do to each other and then expect something good to come out of it just because, blah blah blah, we're men. That is weird. You can't expect that. You can't expect something good to come out of that if your first instinct is to shit on the next nigga niggas that's next to you or around you or even in the vicinity. We can't even have conversations online without niggas wanting to do shit to you. Life ruining shit. I mean, to be honest, that's why I'm kind of glad that the tides are turning a little bit on the censorship shit. I mean, I hope we can get back to the levels we used to have it where people can speak freely. But that's getting harder because one of the things I noticed, this will be my last point, I'll get up out of here, is that the more we move away from this authoritarianism, censorship shit, the more the white boys are kicking up their racism rhetoric, especially in regards to black people. The IQ shit is in full effect all over again. I think I talked about this on the last stream. And white boys can't help it. They really can't. It's all they got. And I understand it. And I understand. I'm not saying I don't condone this shit. I'm saying I understand it. I understand why they do it. Think about this, right? I think me and Spoo was having a conversation about this like one late night, right? So you got certain people out here, right? So I would say all the time when I'm talking to religious niggas. So I grew up a religious nigga. I was a Baptist. I didn't have a choice. I got baptized when I was a baby. So I grew up my entire life as a Baptist. But I was also interested in science. And then I got into science really hard when I got to high school and college. But I was participating in all the nigga shit, but in the background I was sciencing. Just niggas didn't know it. You have to keep it a secret. So I read all the religion books. I read all of the Kufi logic. I read all of the fucking black history. I wore the bone jewelry. I was a horoscope nigga. I was a very magical nigga. Then I started getting into science, more and more science, and hard science, science that involved actual math. And the more I started experiencing the world, especially when I started traveling, I understood that all of the magic that I believed in was bullshit. And then my college education let me know that all of the history that I was reading was good to know it, but it was also good to know the full scope of history, not just us, not just what happened to us. So when I started doing that, things got a lot more clear. History and anthropology opened my eyes to a lot more than just our bullshit. And when that happened, I started to see everybody as the same because we are the same. Everybody went to war, got their ass kicked, got their land took. You read about Babylon. Babylon is Iraq now. Persia is Iran now. Jerusalem is fucking Israel now, or wherever the fuck it is, or what is it, Palestine or Israel? One of the two, where Jesus lived. All of these people had fights a long time ago, and the people that lived there got their ass kicked. And then the people who won took their shit, burned their books, burned their history, kept whatever was good about kept whatever they liked about that other people's culture, and cut their ass the fuck off. They had a period of immigration as well, and then it stopped after they developed their own culture. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Until now. It's different now. So, anyway, once I learned all these things, my perspective changed. And once I stopped believing in that shit, none of this stuff mattered. But then when I started having conversations with people who only read their books, and only their books, I started to see the same pattern every time. Like, and y'all, most of y'all that's been listening to me since 2020 have seen the same thing. I'll get on a panel with these people that only read their books, and they would just spaz the fuck out. I would get a few sentences out of my mouth, and they would just fucking lose it. Now, a rational person wouldn't do that. A rational person who has at least a modicum of logical reasoning behind them, at least a willingness to listen, would not spaz out like that. But then I started to realize they don't read any other books. The only reason I was able to talk about most things was because I read both books. I would read your magic books and the science books. But the people that don't read anything outside of magic books, you can't talk to them, and then people tell you like we're supposed to be talking to each other to have a common dialogue and try to meet in the middle on ideas and shit. How do you meet in the middle on ideas with people who literally don't even want to fucking go outside of their comfort zone? You can't. You can't. Like how? How is it possible? Like, somebody explain that to me. All you read is magic books. So anyway, that's the problem. So we having these conversations, and people, you have one-sided people having conversations with some people who can actually see things from both sides. And it doesn't mean they don't have bias just because they can see both sides. They can still have their bias, but at least they're educated on both sides. But the people who are educated on both sides are arguing with people who are only educated on one side. And some of them aren't even educated on one side. They just live over there because that's what they're comfortable with. I mean, it would even be better if they were educated on that side, on the magic side. But typically, again, you have people who are educated on the magic side, and that comes with a certain arrogance. I used to have that same arrogance when I was a magic nigga. I would go into conversations just assuming people they don't know the real. Only I know the real. Only I know about the ancestors and all of the positive, super great shit they used to do. And for some reason, these super magical niggas got their ass whooped and couldn't figure out how to get back on top after millennia of getting their ass whooped by a bunch of different races of people. These magical niggas had a giant country that looks like a jigsaw puzzle right now because nobody can fucking figure out how to unify. Meanwhile, our squinty-eyed cousins, them niggas got an entire landmass to themselves. But we can't do that? They shit don't look like a jigsaw puzzle, niggas. It's just them. For some reason, they figured it out. So when I'm thinking about a lot of this shit is it mostly comes down to if you're not an ambitious person, nobody can tell you that it's a bad thing. Like, what is it about ambition that makes it like this overwhelmingly great thing, other than you maybe having a goal to reach? Like, if you have a goal to reach, maybe you have a financial goal, that's good. But the ambition that we talk about is typically like get rich or die trying type shit. That's usually like everybody's on the same ambition. But then again, right? We're not a monolith, but everybody's looking for the same ambition or the same mode of ambition. I mean, when I was growing up, my ambition was mostly I just wanted to find somebody I like to be with, get married, have kids, and live on some fucking land and hang out with the neighbors. That was my dream growing up because that's what I was socialized to believe or conditioned to do. And that's not a bad ambition. It's not terrible. It's how the world keeps working, and then society conditions you to keep society going. That's really how society educates its people to perpetuate itself. But then when you can't, or things don't go the way they're supposed to for you to do that, you have to find another way to reach that same ambition. But if that ambition becomes impossible, then you have to find another goal altogether, which is difficult because you've been conditioned to do one thing. And again, that sprawls out into all the other fuck shit I was talking about earlier. So anyway, unsolvable, right? Seems to be unsolvable. But I would say it is solvable. Just, whatever your ambition level is right now, fucking stay there. What does it matter? What does it matter to anybody else what you do? If somebody tell you broke, but you able to do the shit that you want to do, how are you broke? Somebody telling you need a jet ski just because they got one? What if you don't care? And I make a lot of fun about, I talk shit about jet skis, but I'm not even a jet ski nigga. I just say this shit because it's funny. I could give a fuck about a jet ski. I see people having fun on them and shit, but I'm not a jet ski nigga. I don't even want to ride that shit. I don't even care. Don't give a fuck. But somebody would try and force that on me and be like, nigga, I got a jet ski, or I got a yacht and all the other shit. I would never want to own a yacht. You know how much upkeep there is on a yacht? Them shit stay in the water. You got to constantly get them fixed. It's a money drain. The only way to really own a yacht is to timeshare it with a bunch of people. And then y'all pool y'all money together to keep that bitch maintained. And then y'all got to take turns riding in it. Unless you're just super rich. There's an ambition. Anyway, let me get the fuck up out of here for real. All right, thank y'all for listening. I'll talk to you later.